It's LaDonna Ann Love, and this is my second time to be in this class, and Robert's letting me introduce him. And by way of introducing him, I get to tell you about my wonderful journey with this class first. When I first came in here, well, I can't believe all the changes that have happened in my life, and so I get to tell you a little bit about that. And it's just been wonderful. When I first started this class, well, I'll tell you, I've been on a spiritual quest ever since I was a little girl, I think. I was interested in world religions by the time I was in 3rd grade and scarfing up my parents' encyclopedias and reading everything I could get my hands on, and grew up in a family that was pretty open-minded, even though they were Southern Baptist, and they let me look into all that stuff. And they'd lived in the Philippine Islands and been introduced to other religions. So even though they were conservative in their religion, they kind of had this kooky daughter who was interested in a lot of things, and they said, well, that's all right. You know, we live by Buddhists and Hindus, and it's okay. So anyway, I've met the Dalai Lama 3 times and been blessed by him, and lived in a Hindu ashram and a Buddhist sangha. And I was mad at myself before I came here. And I really had a lack of self-esteem, big time, loser up here on my forehead. And as a matter of fact, one night we're sitting here in class, and I thought, I paid my money, and I'm not going to lie here, but I don't like to lie anywhere anyway. And I said I've read the 4 agreements, and one of them is I won't lie. But Robert had us doing an affirmation about I feel good about myself, and I couldn't do it. I mean, it was a lot fancier than that, and he could tell I couldn't do it. I was squirming in my seat, and I wouldn't make eye contact with him, and I thought, let's just get the class over. It's near ending time. And, you know, he reads people really well, and I was kind of ducking out because I didn't want to make the class go over. And, you know, he's saying, if this is uncomfortable for you, and he could tell it was uncomfortable for me because I didn't feel good about myself right then. And he made some joke about it being queasy or uncomfortable, and I said, you know, if it's queasy, it must be sleazy. And he liked that, because I just thought, I'm going to throw up trying to say this, because I'm mad at myself. Anybody who's had as many opportunities as I have and been in Unity for 30 years should have solved all this long ago. You know, there's no excuse for me. I'm a hopeless mess and a wreck, and they should just hang me out to dry, because there's no hope for me. But there is hope. When I didn't even meet Robert. I called him on the phone, and I was crying on the phone before he met me. He probably went, oh, my God, there's a nutcase coming tonight. He told me I was good at doing testimonies. He said, please get up and say something on the mic. Oh, God. You know, that's when they know they think you're a lost cause. Oh, Lord. Well, anyway, so to make the long story short, I cleaned my house. I went back to doing my work that I haven't been doing for a while. I reorganized everything in my life. I started laughing again. I'm considering dating again, which I haven't done for 3 years. I got a dog. I love life. I'm walking 2 hours a day now for the first time in a year. At least, maybe longer. I'm lifting weights. I'm eating right. I'm sleeping for the first time in 2 years with nothing to help me. I still wake up every 2 hours, but unlike before I met Robert, I don't have any panic attacks. I don't wake up in the night thinking, gee, I should shoot myself and just get over the suffering. I mean, really, you know, it's wonderful. The monsters that used to scare me in the middle of the night, you know, like the horrible thoughts, they don't get me anymore. You know, the inevitable thoughts of gloom and doom and how much I hated myself, gone. I called Robert today and said, I'm not going to come this round because I'm doing so well. And he talked to me a little while, and I thought, well, maybe I will. He said, at least come and share your testimony. I'm here to tell you, folks, if you will come up here and face your biggest dragons. I mean, after all, I came up and talked about feeling suicidal. That was really impressive to come up and admit that you're feeling that way. That took me till the last class. I came up and talked about having no self-esteem. That'll make you happy to come up and admit that in front of everyone. I came up and talked about issues with my mama. And cried in the first class relentlessly. Now, that's a great way to start. But, you know, if you can do that, that's like standing naked in front of everyone. But if you can do that, you will get well. And this is the place to get well. And face your biggest fears right in front of everyone. If you can do it here, you can do it in your bedroom at 3 a.m. There's nothing left to be afraid of. And then I would call Robert every class and say, I'm not going to come back, you know, because I'm so upset and I'm embarrassed what I did last week and I can't be on video. And he would talk to me and tap with me on the phone. And then I would get the courage to come back one more week. And now I'm just a blooming idiot. So let me introduce you to the person who's giving me the faith to move forward. And I brought a blind friend tonight who was born with an undeveloped optical nerve. And I'm going to introduce you to Tim Nelson, who's one of the bravest people I know. And I'm going to work with the Blind Association now and put Robert's book, I do believe, on audio tape so blind people have access to it. And I'm even working now musically with some people. I hadn't done anything with my music for 5 years because I was so down on myself. And I was a music teacher for 20 years. God bless America, I'm so busy, I can hardly keep up with myself after laying in bed depressed for a year. I hate to admit it, but good grief, life is wonderful. So if you want your life so full and wonderful that you can hardly keep up with yourself, you might stay in here, but if that sounds overwhelming, you might get up and leave right now. But Robert really cares, and if you're too scared to stay in here, you can call him, and there are a lot of wonderful people in here who are learning to do what he does. And why don't some of you raise your hand? Some of you, and they will help you too. Raise your hands again. Better yet, stand up. Stand up, those of you who are studying this. But get up, get up. And they come back time and time again, and they will help you. They will lay their hands upon you and tap you till you're silly. But, you know, they believe in this so much, they've done it time and time again. So here is Robert. God bless his work. And may you have as much fun and get as goofy as I am.